We find Matt here, ready to guess WrestleMania 33, 34. What number are we at?
35.
35 in New York. That's right, everybody. It is WrestleMania 35 time. Like Matt had said, it's our prediction video, and we're going to break down all the matches. I got my WrestleMania shirt ready. I can't wear this anymore. I got it. I got a perfect shirt. So before we get back to, I don't think Undertaker's appearing because of his appearance coming up at StarCast 2. Even though I know WWE is going to try to get him in somehow, so I'd love it, but I don't think it's going to happen. Let's see what... Does The Undertaker show up at WrestleMania 35, Matt?
I don't see a WrestleMania without Undertaker. What role he'll play, I don't know. It could be some weird big mix-up. Maybe Bray Wyatt comes out, then, The Undertaker comes out, and then we get this whole dark side shit, and maybe the fucking Goblin King comes out. I don't know. We'll see, Joan Jett gets the live music honors. It seems like WWE pushes for that every year, that one of their superstars band is there to perform their song live. So, it's exciting to see Joan Jett. Is it going to sound the same as her version way back in the day? Probably not. She aged a little bit, but it'll still be very cool to see.
All right. And also to start off, we got to announce the host, which is Alexa Bliss. Which, if you know Spotty Reception's channel, Brendan Carroll's a huge fan, so he's excited. Let's get to the matches. What match, I think, are you looking most forward to?
It's kind of a tough question, not because they have so many good matches lined up. It's more tough on what match you really want to pick and sit yourself through and watch. There's two right now I would say I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to Triple H and Batista and the Triple Threat Women's Championship match. I think is going to be a hell of a match.
Women's Battle Royal. Who do I think wins? Asuka's in the match, and I feel like she should have kept her title, even though I know she really didn't do anything after she beat Becky. Like, of all people, she beats Becky Lynch, and then nothing happens. Like, she's not on TV, and then just loses to Charlotte. And I think there was, like, a program they could have built with Asuka defending the title against, like, Mandy Rose. And so I think your favorite's got to be one of those two. Like Asuka, either so she can get back her title, or Mandy Rose, who I think they should push. I'm going to go and say Mandy Rose wins the Women's Battle Royal.
Well, the Andre the Giant Memorial match. That one, who knows? I don't even have a complete list of all the participants. Everyone's favorite's going to be Braun Strowman to win it again. I don't think he's going to win it. So as of right now, I'm going to say it's going to be anyone but Braun Strowman winning the Andre the Giant Memorial or Battle Royal match.
Buddy Murphy versus Tony Nese for the... Is it the NXT title? No, it's the 205 Live Cruiserweight Championship.
Tony Nese.
Tony Nese. Buddy Murphy or Tony Nese. Gonna go with Buddy Murphy just to be different than Matt. We'll see who's right. Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. Is this one pretty easy to guess?
Yeah. I think it all depends on truly where Roman Reigns is in his development with his leukemia treatment. He came back, said he's back, but then again, now he's gone for weeks again. So is it because of treatment? Is it because he was hurt? We don't really know. In this one, I think Drew McIntyre wins. There's going to be some interference, I do believe, outside interference, that will prevent Roman Reigns from winning this one.
Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. Not the matchup I thought it was going to be, but... And then who knows, maybe it won't be. But I think Roman Reigns wins whatever match he's in, so I'll go with Roman. Intercontinental Championship match. Bobby Lashley with Lio Rush in his corner versus Finn Balor. First question, is he the Demon or is he not the Demon at WrestleMania?
I think he's going to be the Demon. You don't see the Demon too often, and only at big, opportunity or big like staging will you see the Demon King come out. I think he's had enough of Bobby Lashley and his little troll of a partner that you're going to see the nasty side of Finn Balor come out, and again, he will retain his championship. Rightfully so, he deserves that one.
I think he does come out as the Demon Finn Balor, and I think he wins. Maybe Lio Rush turns on Bobby Lashley, like they should have already split up. But yeah, I think something like that happens because I feel like Bobby Lashley at this point is going to be moved on towards the Universal title picture. And I think this might also be a way to start rebuilding Finn as a character, especially because he was built so well coming out from New Japan as Prince Devitt. Prince Devitt was over better than anyone. And then he came over in NXT. He did really well. His main roster debut against Seth Rollins, he won the title. Since his injury, it's been mixed booking, but I think this is going to finally kind of get him back on the right path. So yeah, Finn gets the Intercontinental title at New York at WrestleMania 35. Rey Mysterio versus Samoa Joe. First question, who does Rey Mysterio come out as? He always comes out as somebody. Captain America, the Joker.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Thanos. I don't know.
I don't know on that one. He likes to play it by surprise. Maybe his kid will come out dressed as him. Who knows? Samoa Joe is going to destroy Rey Mysterio. I think Mysterio just gets annihilated in this match right in front of his family. It's not even going to be a contest.
All right. I like it. Rey Mysterio versus Samoa Joe. I think Samoa Joe. I don't see them swerving us and giving it to Rey. I think to continue building Samoa Joe as the monster they've been building him as, he has to win here and destroy Mysterio. So, Samoa Joe. All right. Kurt Angle, his retirement match versus Baron Corbin. At least at the time we're filming this, it's Baron Corbin. Does it stay Baron Corbin? If not, who is it and who wins the match?
See, that's hard. And I mean, we've previously discussed this before. It would be great to maybe see John Cena take Baron Corbin's place. John Cena and Kurt Angle have a ton of history. In fact, John Cena made his debut against Kurt Angle with his ruthless aggression. I think that would be just a fun match for Kurt Angle to go out on. If it's Kurt Angle, I see Kurt Angle beating John Cena. If it's Baron Corbin still, Baron Corbin would probably beat Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle versus John Cena is what I think is going to happen. I know right now it's Kurt Angle versus Baron Corbin, but I think it's a swerve. I don't think WWE goes without John Cena and Undertaker without being on the show this year. Obviously, at some point they're going to have to, but I think if they can get one of them, they will. And I think John Cena is the more likely one to get. So I think John Cena versus Kurt Angle in kind of the match that started Cena. And I think it's going to be a nice send-off as Kurt Angle wins this one. We'll give him Kurt Angle.
Then you have The Miz and Shane McMahon. This one, I don't know. I mean, it's going to be a bigger match again because Shane is invested in WWE. It's part of his company. So it's going to be a big match. There's going to be bodies hitting the floor in this one. I think in this one, The Miz takes out Shane McMahon.
Okay.
But it's going to be a hell of a match.
So it is the story of the best wrestler in the world, according to WWE, Shane McMahon, who's not Kenny Omega. versus The Miz, who's probably one of the more underrated wrestlers in WWE. I think he does a phenomenal job. He's probably one of the better heels since 2010. But he's babyface now, going against Shane McMahon. I think the only payoff is for The Miz to win. So I think Miz wins this one. I think he just beats up Shane. He takes, quote unquote, the best wrestler in the world title from Shane. And I think he wins. Pretty simple. So we got the Fatal 4-Way for the women's tag team titles between Sasha Banks and Bayley versus Natalya, Beth Phoenix versus the Iconics versus everyone's favorite Nia Jax and Tamina. Matt, who walks away with the titles? I think this one's actually one that I think might be up in the air. I don't think this is pretty self-explanatory.
It is, and this is kind of where I get a little frustrated with the WWE. They want to make the women's division a solid division. I think the Fatal 4-Way right now almost seems like they're kind of, again, joking the women around. This one I'm not taking as a serious match. I think it could easily be anyone in this match. The WWE tends sometimes to go with a crowd, people who they dislike. The Iconics I could see easily winning this one. But then again, Natalya and Beth Phoenix, maybe one last ride for Beth because she is another staple for the women's division, getting them where they were. So she could easily, get one last hoorah too to say thank you.
Okay. Who do I think is going to win? I think this one is like the most up in the air match that they have. As far as I think anyone could win it. As far as storylines, I don't see anyone that's been pushed so much that you're like, oh, they're probably going to lose, or they haven't been pushed enough that you're like, oh, they might win. So, shoot. We'll go with something different. I'll say the Iconics win the women's tag team titles. Randy Orton versus AJ Styles. In essence, WWE's built this up as the WWE guy in Orton versus the quote-unquote indie guy in AJ Styles, even though Impact isn't as much of an indie, and neither is New Japan Pro Wrestling. But here we go. Who do you have? Why?
This one is just, again, like I said, I'm not thrilled about the lineup card this year for WrestleMania. I think they could have done better, but in this match, given the circumstance, I think Randy Orton will defeat AJ Styles. He'll play dirty and win.
So in this matchup, especially because AJ is staying with WWE, I think he's going to get the win. I don't know if it's so certain Randy Orton's going to stay long term. As least of now, I've not heard any contract things going on with him. And I know AJ has signed, so I'm going to say AJ Styles is going to get this win at WrestleMania 35. Batista, Triple H, who wins it? Why?
That's a difficult one. I think in the end Triple H does win it. Batista's too kind of fair-weathered for the WWE. He comes and goes, comes and goes, comes and goes. Triple H is one of the futures of the company. If they're going to have a future, it's going to be in him and Stephanie. And I don't see him losing where he'd have to leave the company. Okay, so if this match wasn't kind of easy to kind of guess in the forefront when it was announced Triple H versus Batista, it became even more apparent when Triple H was like, oh, I'm going to put my career on the line. He ain't losing. So, yeah, Triple H is going to beat Batista. Though I do think this is one of the better build matches for the card. I think a lot of the matches have either been drawn out too far, they've kind of rushed through it, or they're dragging it on and you're just get to the match, ready? So yeah, I think this is one of the better written storylines going into Mania, and I think Triple H wins. So Seth Rollins versus Brock
Lesnar for the Universal title. The Beast versus the Kingslayers versus whatever he goes by now. The Beast Slayer.
Yeah.
Burn it down.
Yeah.
Hashtag strike.
I'm going to go, Brock Lesnar is going to pull out his firefighter outfit and put the fire out.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, Seth Rollins is not winning this match.
Right, someone's got to face Bobby Lashley, and I think they want to set it up for Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, and that could be your big SummerSlam match because, again, the pay-per-views in between are too small to have that big of a pay-per-view. But, Smackdown, you probably could easily have Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar where the title will change hands at that point.
I'm agreeing with Matt because I don't think that they change both top titles. And I think Kofi's the one that's going to get it. Spoiler alert. But, my prediction for later. But, yeah, I don't think they switch both top titles. I just don't see it happening, even though, burn it down. Seth Rollins ain't going to happen. Brock Lesnar going to put out the fire. Now going over to the eco-friendly Daniel Bryan, who's not hashtag People's Champ, he is hashtag World's Champ, versus Kofi Kingston, who's in a very similar situation to Daniel Bryan was in WrestleMania 30. Who wins it?
Well, Daniel Bryan can be the hashtag People's Ass all day. With as much as they mess with Kofi, I would think, this is going to be his opportunity to shine. I think he's one of the ones that will take a title home, mainly because he proved himself, and you don't get that far without proving yourself. And the punishment he endured the last few weeks has been, pretty intense. I mean, gauntlet match after gauntlet match, and then the last minute addition, and then to be taken away, and then now you can do it only if the tag team partners, your friends, can run a gauntlet match. So Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan. And I've said earlier, this is really kind of weird because I feel like Kofi's now taken over the spot that Daniel Bryan was in at WrestleMania 30, where he was like not Vince McMahon's person. He had to go through all these trials and tribulations, and then he came out on top. And I think Daniel Bryan's going to lose to like pretty much himself in Kofi Kingston. Like Kofi Kingston has become what Daniel Bryan was in for WrestleMania 30. So WrestleMania 35, Kofi Kingston becomes your WWE champion. I mean, that's crazy, but it's something I said a long time ago. I liked his character when he was feuding with Randy Orton all those years ago, when he like beat up Orton. He like smashed his race car. Like I was like, oh, like that is cool. Let's go with that. And then they never did. So I think it's well deserved after so many years, and after everything they've gone and done to him. There's no way. Like if he loses, that is like insane. All right, so for the main event, finally. Triple threat women's match. Becky, Charlotte, or Ronda Rousey. With what happened on Tuesday night with Charlotte taking home the women's championship in SmackDown, I think she's going to be the first ever two-title holder for both SmackDown and Raw. I see her winning that match. Some way, somehow, Charlotte wins that match to become the first ever woman to be a two-time title holder.
Okay.
I guess to be the true undisputed women's champion.
Well, I think Matt has a good point that WWE might want to do that. I think it'd be really insane not to give Becky the title, and I think she deserves it. I'm not just saying that because I'm wearing a Becky shirt, but I think storyline-wise and, like, for her hard work, like, she deserves this, especially for, like, how many times they've kind of, like, been taking the opportunity away. So, yeah, if she doesn't leave WrestleMania with the titles, I think fans will riot. Just saying. Yeah, so there you have it. There's our WrestleMania 35 predictions. And, hey, if you guys are out in New York around this time, we will be too. Come hang out with us. You can find us pretty much everywhere that wrestling is going to be. We'll be at Festival Honor. We'll be around WrestleMania, and we'll be at the Bullet Club block party. So find us there, or at some of the other attractions. So until then, see you there if you guys find us, and check out some of our other videos. We got last year's WrestleMania predictions, we got some awesome city vlogs, and we also have some great movie reviews.